Hello there, and a very good evening to you, especially the Muslim Ummah. Ramadan Mubarak. It's another Wednesday night and time for our get-together on the program that brings you the news with the extra touch. In today's package, it is hope rising for peace between farmers and herders as government moves to resolve the crisis, especially in the Benue Valley. Senate meets heads of security agencies on security challenges. From the Federal Executive Council, it's good news as members are optimistic about a higher GDP for the country. We will follow this up with some business news and business-related stories. Also tonight, there is politics as APC moves for the big one, its national convention. There are stories on power generation, agriculture, and health. That's not all. But let me not pull the whole kitten out of the box. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. The farmers-herders conflict in the north-central zone of the country has taken its toll on both sides, with everybody counting their losses. But all hope is not lost, especially for the displaced persons in Nasarawa State. The Vice President went calling with the promise that they will be brought back home. Jide Onifadi has more on that.
Driving through Abuja, Imo, Agon, Ibume are hundreds of settlements attacked, destroyed, and deserted. There were once very lively areas where people of different tribes, amongst them the Thieves and Fulanese, were all cohabiting peacefully before the waves of crisis coming from Benue State tore the people apart. The coming of the Vice President is seen as one that brings hope and shows the commitment of the federal government to ensuring peace returns to their areas.
Let us all cooperate, work together with the state government and the federal government to bring peace and security. The government, the federal government, and the state government are committed to ensuring that they bring about peace and security. We will do our part, God helping us.
Historically, in the northern parts of the country, the farmers and herdsmen crises have always been present, which the people have learned to live with. Only of recent, the crisis has taken a new dimension. Governor Tanko Almakura of Nasarawa State says the state has a template of crisis resolution which has been very effective. The number of IDPs trooping in from Benue State has rocked the system.
People of this community, some rest of mind, they know the federal might is here with them. And by God's grace, what they most desire, the presence and reinforcement of security operatives to ensure in situ security bases in areas where people have deserted will come to reality.
Expectation, great expectation for our people, particularly that we've been promised that he's taking us back to our homes. Secondly, the security he has promised to provide. It's another very great thing.
We really appreciate the effort of Mr. President.
This is Agarawo IDP camp. It is the third that the Vice President is visiting. And the message is, what has a beginning must have an end. Calling on the people to come once again together and live in peace. Jide Onifade, NT News.
In the meantime, a security meeting is to hold between the governments of Benue and Nasarawa states as a measure towards resolving the plight of the internally displaced persons and also seeking an end to the farmers and herders conflict in both states. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is expected to be at the meeting. The federal government reiterates its determination to put an end to the killings in the country. Now, there is the belief that the conflict or misunderstanding between farmers and herdsmen is as old as farming and livestock rearing in northern Nigeria. Over the years, however, there has been the realization that they are all members of one society and they are interdependent, and so it is better to protect each other's interest. Musa Babali reports that this give-and-take attitude has largely improved harmony between farmers and herders in Kano, Sokoto and Kebbi states.
Competition for space for crop and livestock production has been in existence for years in northern Nigeria. In spite of these, both farmers and herders still provide support for each other to improve their production. Oftentimes, after harvest, farmers do provide their farm for herders to graze for free, but with an agreement that the animal dump which will serve as manure must be left on the farm.
So it minimizes conflict between these two groups of individuals that are coexisting or have been coexisting for several hundreds of years together. So it's a system that has actually evolved with the socio-cultural practices of the people and has become adopted as part of the society as a what? As a conflict resolution mechanism.
Though this herdsman we met in Garum Baba in Garum Mala local government area of Kano State says sometimes they do pay 5,000 naira to farmers. It's not a bad idea if they ask us to pay. It's better than moving around, he says. Sometimes the herdsmen are allowed to settle on a farm like this for a period and vacate after the commencement of cropping season. A cattle breeder told me that the system is beneficial to both farmers and herders as it eliminates conflict. Commissioner for Agriculture, Kano State, Nasiru Yusuf Gauna, says the state government is also benefiting from the farmers and herdsmen partnership.
We have cattle routes. That is animal routes. We have them and they are all marked. And so when they come, you find out that it's the routes and that is the farm. So they will follow the routes and it is okay. So there is not going to be any conflict.
The government recently organized free animal vaccination in the state, where thousands of cattle were vaccinated against infection and diseases. In Kano, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Well, the issue of security is everyone's business, the import of which the Senate is pursuing doggedly. In the light of this, it has met with heads of security agencies on the best ways to strengthen the nation's security system. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo was there and now reports.
Colleagues.
2 weeks ago, the Senate had passed a resolution inviting heads of security agencies to brief it at plenary on the state of the nation's security, especially the proliferation of firearms and light weapons. Shortly after 2 executive sessions, the heads of these security agencies, including the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Gabriel Olani Shekin, Director General Department of State Service Lawal Daura, and representatives of the Nigerian Police, the Nigerian Customs Service and Immigration Service, and the Senate went into another executive session for the security dialogue. 4 hours later, the discussion ends, and the Senate President Bukola Saraki spoke on the outcome of the meeting.
On the whole, we directed that on our part, certain outstanding bills or protocols that needed to be given a fast track should be addressed immediately to see that they can be passed as soon as possible in order to strengthen security architecture. And of course, we all observe the funding issue, and we also agreed that there must be made special funding.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, describes the meeting as engaging and patriotic.
I want to assure you that on the basis of today's discussions, we are focused and poised to promote harmony between the various security formations.
The Senate received an executive communication from Mr. President requesting the confirmation of nominees for the appointment as non-executive directors of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
The names are 1. Professor Umu Ahmed Jalingo, Northeast. 2. Professor Justina Odinaka Chuku Mbakwo, Southeast. 3. Professor Mike I. Obadan, South-South. 4. Dr. Abdul Abubakar, Northwest. And 5. Adiola Adetunji, Southwest.
It will be recalled that there were some differences in the version of the 2018 budget passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives, which necessitated a conference committee, and that committee harmonized those differences. Their report has been considered and approved by the Senate. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTN News.
With the GDP growth rate of 1.95% recorded within the first quarter of this year, the Federal Executive Council is optimistic that the 3.5 GDP target at the end of the last quarter of the year 2018 is achievable. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports on this and other activities at the Federal Executive Council meeting today.
The Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors and which lasted for about 5 hours, was encouraged by the 1.5 growth rate of the GDP within the first quarter of this year. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, in a briefing shortly after the fake meeting said this will go a long way in boosting the economy.
As you all know, it showed a GDP growth rate of 1.95%, with both the oil as well as the non-oil sectors continuing to grow. The first quarter is usually the weakest quarter, so you expect other quarters to do much better.
While under the health sector, the Council has approved the ratification of protocol for the control of illegal, illicit and tobacco trading in line with the WHO framework of tobacco control, which Nigeria is signatory to.
Once it is ratified and signed, we'll now be able to control smuggling, we'll be able to track tobacco marketing, and we'll be able to raise taxes and minimize the adverse effect of tobacco directly and indirectly on our population.
The Council has also approved about 582 million naira for the consultancy services as a response to the memo submitted by the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Bello Dombazau, on behalf of the Nigerian Immigration Service, aimed at boosting Technology Center and taking control of the database of the Nigerian Immigration Service by the officers to enhance internal security, which was before now manned by service providers.
So we intend to have that which would have total control of all the databases that has to do with passport, visa, and SEPA cards.
The Council has also approved the procurement and installation of 64-ton capacity of mobile crane that will help in cargo movement from the vessels to the ports, amounting to over 200 million naira. In an effort to boost the transportation sector, the Council reaffirmed its commitment for the completion of the railway project, particularly Port Harcourt to Maiduguri axis, which enroutes many states, as well as the Central Railway line, which will run from Abuja to Itakpe through Baru and link to Seaport in Wari, and Kano to Maradi, passing through Kazaure, Dutse, Daura, Katsina, and Jibia.
I've consistently stated the state capitals that this train will run across will be Port Harcourt to Aba, Aba to Owerri to Umuahia to Enugu, Awka, and Abakaliki, proceeding to Makurdi, Lafia, Jos to Bauchi to Gombe, and Yola, and then terminates at Maiduguri.
The road network also received a boost with the approval of over 5 billion naira for the rehabilitation of border roads linking Ekiti and Osun states.
The contract is to link the two border states. It is a 34-kilometer length road. It had been embarked upon earlier on by the Osun State government, but after 3 kilometers, they gave up. They couldn't, fund it, and so the federal government has taken over that road.
The meeting is expected to be reconvened next week. From the State House, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
Many thanks, Aliyu. In the meantime, the Federal Account Allocation Committee Wednesday shared the sum of 613 billion naira among the 3 tiers of government. The figure is higher than the amount disbursed the previous month, by 132 billion naira. A breakdown shows that the federal government received the highest share of 276 billion naira, followed by the state governments with 140 billion naira, while local government councils got 108 billion naira. And investors thumb up Nigeria for Direct Investment Summit, plus Central Bank of Nigeria CBN set to release framework for currency swap with China. The details of these on our business news segment with Chukunonso Nwabweze.
Hello and thanks for joining us on Business News. More than 190 investors from 14 countries converged on Abuja as Nigeria hosted Maiden Direct Investment Summit. Participants described the initiative as timely, owing to the fact that Nigeria's economic potentials remain largely untapped, adding that a synergy with investors is necessary for sustainable development.
We are bringing all the investors in one location so that we can brainstorm and see how we can move our economy from oil economy to non-oil economy.
Seeking out investors to come to Nigeria and have first-hand information about these opportunities, I think it's an added advantage, and I believe it would yield positive results.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, says the currency swap between Nigeria and the People's Bank of China will ultimately ease pressure on the foreign exchange market through reduction in reliance on third currency for settlement between the two countries. Godwin Emefiele explained that the framework for the $2.5 billion currency swap will be released by next week. Meanwhile, Nigeria's gas production from January 2017 to January 2018 reached 3.054 trillion cubic feet. Recent data from NNPC's monthly financial report indicates that out of the 253 billion cubic feet of gas supplied in January 2018, a total of 144 billion cubic feet was commercialized. And the equities market closed this Wednesday on a negative note, with the Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index depreciating by 0.25% to close at 48,150.55 basis points in 3,721 deals. MRS Oil Nigeria, Ikeja Hotel and Facing Healthcare topped the gainers chart, while USCN shaded 1 naira 35 kobo to lead the losers. Ikeja Hotel, Access Bank and Facing Healthcare were amongst the most patronized. That's the package at this time. I am Chukunonso Nwabweze.
Well, the concept of artificial intelligence was once considered to be futuristic, but it is fast becoming today's reality. Artificial intelligence, also known as AI, is gradually affecting all facets of life around the world. In Lagos, some innovators have been demonstrating how artificial intelligence will change the character of financial transactions. Becky Madujemu found it fascinating. This is our report.
And a message pops up saying, "Thank you for paying."
Welcome to the world according to artificial intelligence. It is referred to as machines imitating human brains. Once a concept of the future, it has been mainstreamed into everyday life. Technology nerds opened up the wide vista of the world of artificial intelligence to curious Nigerians at this festival for innovations. This may seem like science fiction, but it is reality. It is called the iLock and unlocks financial transactions in a surreal manner. The client peers into the device and service delivery is almost real time.
Yes.
The money leaves your account?
Yes, and you see an alert showing that the payment has been debited from your account.
If you consider this fascinating, brace yourself for the next. Validating financial transactions with the forefinger.
When you did your BVN, we did your biometrics and everything, so it has been attached to this. Depending on the bank you're making use of, all what you need is just to make a transaction. You tap on this. Like now, I've been registered. You tap on this. You just need to put this finger, the right hand, into this machine. and a message pops up saying, thank you for paying. People have been saying, how come, are you sure someone else's vein will not be like my vein? Definitely no. It's going to detect. So we might be twin, but that doesn't mean that we're going to have the same vein.
There was much more, even for the betting world.
And we have a virtual scratch card here where you can instantly play and see if you win. Now the aim is to look for the football booth. If you get to a football booth, we've won.
These nerds say the innovation will soon crystallize in Nigeria and will change the character of financial transactions. The race between man and machine has been long. Is the machine winning? Artificial intelligence is set to change the world, and there are no bounds. In Lagos, Becky Madujemu, NTA News.
Well, Nigeria continues to lose about $70 billion annually to illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. In this next report, Muhammad Abdul Qadir examines the magnitude of the problem and measures being taken to fight that.
Nigeria's territorial waters are full of aquatic life. It is part of the country's huge natural resources. However, foreign vessels have been breaching the country's territorial integrity and fishing illegitimately in our maritime space. It is a phenomenon called illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, IUU for short. It has been going on for long, costing Nigeria and fellow West African countries millions of dollars.
We have seen signs, serious signs of depletion of our resources. We have seen signs that there's a lot of illegal operations by vessels in our waters.
And this translates into at least about 200,000 jobs for our youths which could have been taken off the streets.
Nigeria has set up a national working team led by the Navy to join other West African countries to fight IUU.
It's a task force, and it's not only Nigeria, there are 6 countries involved.
President Commander-in-Chief approved for the Navy recently the procurement of 6 additional inshore patrol craft to strengthen our capability for inshore patrol.
In spite of this, there are challenges that need to be addressed for the fight to gather more wind.
We find out from records that the trawlers are also found in this non-trawling zone. So they are catching the juvenile fish, they're catching the baby fish that are supposed to be allowed to grow big.
As the country strives to diversify its revenue base, the fishing industry is one sector that can contribute significantly if illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing is minimized. In Lagos, Muhammad Abdul Qadir, NTA News.
Thank you, Muhammad. It is actually $70 million that is lost annually to illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. APC puts machinery in place for its national convention as INEC sensitizes women on voter registration in Kano. That's the outlook when we return after the break. Join us.
My teacher said germs attack and make tiny holes in the teeth. And they are more active at night. So you have to remember to brush your teeth at night. But Dad forgets to brush his teeth at night. Ah, he gets cavities.
Pepsodent Cavity Fighter with double action and protection power helps prevent cavities during the day and at night works hard to repair tiny holes before becoming cavities. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter with double action for daily day and night cavity protection.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Take a good look at our world today and you'll discover something interesting. More and more drivers are choosing mobile motor oils. You see, as engine performance becomes more important than ever, the vehicle owners are coming to expect more from their engine oils. They're demanding more mileage on a single oil change. They're demanding longer-lasting engines and smoother rides. They're demanding the best. And with Mobile, that's what they get. We raised the bar for motor oils with the Mobile Super 1000. And with the Mobile One, we raised it even higher. And because it's made using the most advanced engineering processes, Mobile motor oils leave your engine super clean, increase its durability, and keep it so well protected, it never stops running. So success for you depends on continuous movement. You need engine oil, engineered for that purpose. Mobile, performance at its best.
Make it Mobile.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
The management of the Nigeria Television Authority, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Voice of Nigeria wishes to invite the general public to the 13th edition of the annual Ramadan lecture, which will inshallah hold on the 10th of Ramadan, 1439 after Hijrah, equivalent to 26th of May 2018 at Lumana Multipurpose Center, River Road, off Jabi Road, East, Gwarimi, Jerry, Kaduna by 9 a.m. The topic is fighting corruption, the Islamic perspective, to be delivered by Dr. Bashir Aliu Umar, Bayero University Kano Chief Imam Al-Furqan Jumat Mosque. Chief host, His Excellency Mala Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Shehu Idris Sefa, Emir of Zazzau. You are welcome. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Morphine Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Morphine Power Guard.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris. Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility. This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thank you for rejoining us. This is News Extra. The House of Representatives has passed its second reading a bill for an act to amend the provisions of the Electoral Act, which seeks to further improve the electoral process and other related matters. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the bill, jointly sponsored by Representatives Aisha Jibril Duku, Ahmed Babba Keita and Eukaria Azodo, is also intended to facilitate the conduct of free, fair, credible and acceptable elections.
Before the passage of the bill for an act to amend
amend the provisions of the Electoral Act No. 6, 2010. Members debated extensively during plenary.
You would recall that the bill was a consolidation of 10 individual bills seeking to amend sections of the Electoral Act 2010.
This bill is too serious. It's existential to the very heart of Nigeria's electoral processes, and it is also fraught with a lot of uncertainty.
My worry is on the diaspora voting. The process of having Nigerians registered and voting is going to be very cumbersome.
There is a lot of lacuna observed in the Electoral Act, and then the main purpose of having the legislature is to enact laws to bring it in tandem with the realities of today.
Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business made clarifications on the bill, which was subsequently passed and referred to the Committee of the Whole.
Even though this is a new bill, this is the bill with the same contents as that which we passed here enthusiastically and forwarded to the President for his assent. The President took objections to some elements within that bill and rejected his assent.
Whatever imperfections are in the bill, there are almost 2 solid opportunities left for us to cure them. So I don't know why we'll be scared at this point in time. We still have the public hearing, the consideration of the report at the Committee of the Whole, where all the imperfections that we think the bill contains will be cured.
The House also passed at second reading a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Obotakara, in Akwa Ibom State, sponsored by Representative Emmanuel Akpan. Wednesday's plenary also featured adoption of 11 motions, among which are an urgent call for diplomatic actions to stop recurring killings of Nigerians in South Africa, sponsored by Representative Nkiruka Onyejocha, as well as Representative Zakaria Galadima's sponsored motion, which urged the House to investigate alleged violation of provisions of the Public Procurement Act and financial mismanagements by National Pensions Commission, PENCOM. The House thereafter mandated the Committee on Public Procurement and that of Pensions to investigate the allegations and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. Also considered and approved was the report of the recommendations by the Conference Committee on the 2018 Appropriation Bill. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And as the political space is becoming more engaged with a lot of activities ahead of the 2019 general elections, political parties are indeed busy with re-election activities. In the case of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, it is a step ahead of others. First, with ward, local government and state congresses. Now, the big one is here, as the National Convention Committee of the APC has fixed 23rd June as the date for the 2018 National Convention in Abuja. To this end, a national subcommittee for the convention has been formally inaugurated. Saliu Abdullahi was there, and he tells us more.
With the activities stepping up here, the party leadership appears to be gearing up for the 2018 APC National Convention.
As the chairman of the National Convention, they remain so inaugurated. Thank you.
There are 240 members of the 12 subcommittees of the APC being inaugurated.
We are preparing for a very wonderful, beautiful and all-inclusive comprehensive convention.
And we have to follow because whatever the Constitution says.
The committee will do its utmost best to ensure that whoever comes in will get adequate medical cover.
So most of it has been broken into pieces so that we have smaller group, smaller people that can work without loading it on maybe a group of 2-3 people.
Chairman of the National Convention Committee and Governor of Jigawa State, Abubakar Badaru, says activities building up to the forthcoming exercise are meant to achieve success for the APC.
Now, as it is today, it is suggested by the committee to have the convention on the 23rd of June. But we will have to discuss this with the National Secretariat to confirm the date.
He added that sales of forms to aspirants will commence on Monday next week. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
In the meantime, the coalition of northern groups advised to President Muhammadu Buhari not to contest the 2019 elections has been criticized as ineffectual and untenable. A statement by the Buhari Media Organization says the coalition's position does not hold water and runs contrary to reason, as the Nigerian constitution does not in any way debar him from running for a second term. The statement added that President Buhari did not in any way contribute to the problems in the country, which is now facing he has been in the forefront of fighting corruption and other ills that have retarded the country's growth and development. The statement also says that even on the aspect of age, there is need to remind the coalition that age has never been a hindrance to good leadership, but in the case of the president, it has proved to be an advantage. The need for Nigerian women to actively participate in the electoral process, from voter registration to the point of election, was brought to the fore at the one-day sensitization workshop on enhancing women's participation in registration and collection of voter cards for the Northwest Zone in Kano. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the workshop was organized by the European Center for Electoral Support in collaboration with the political umpire, INEC.
For several years, participation of Nigerian women in electoral process has been a major concern despite good percentage they constitute in population. To participate effectively and provide equal opportunities for leadership at all levels of decision-making cannot be realized without educating women on the continuous voter registration and collection of permanent voters' cards.
And we are here to support from the component one, INEC, from 2017 to 2022. And in our program and activity here, we want to support women participation into the electoral process.
It has become imperative for the Commission to work with other stakeholders and come up with strategies to ensure that more women are encouraged to register and collect their PVCs.
The National Commissioner, Amina Zakari, therefore urged participants to come up with strategies that will assist in increasing the participation of women in the electoral process. Some participants pledged to educate and sensitize women on the prerequisite for exercising the right to vote.
No one can be able to vote without PVC, and therefore all other people trying to get feeling reluctant to go out, maybe because of too much sun or anything like that, let them just try.
We are going to leverage on that first and make an exercise of show me your voter's card.
The workshop brought together women from civil society organizations, Form 1 and the media. From Kano, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
For a better understanding, implementation and compliance with the Administration of Justice Criminal Act, the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies has held a workshop for members of the bar Run the Bench. Kulle Adeyeye has that report.
3 years ago, the provisions of Criminal Procedure Act and the Criminal Procedure Code were merged to come up with the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. This is aimed at making the two legislations stronger by introducing innovative provisions that will enhance the efficiency of the justice system. As the judiciary continues to perfect strategies for smooth and quick adjudication of justice, major players from the bar and the bench converged on Abuja for a peer review mechanism on the effectiveness of the Act. The Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, Professor Adedeji Adekunle, says much as the Act has been innovative, there should be room for improvement.
We need to constantly update our knowledge, and that is why workshops like this are very important.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, wants relevant stakeholders in the Criminal Justice Act to collaborate so that the Act is implemented and complied with.
The purpose of this Act
set out in section 1 sub 1 is to ensure that the system of administration of criminal justice in Nigeria promotes efficient management of criminal justice institutions.
The ACJA 2015 is still a relatively new law. There are bound to be some challenges in its implementation.
Participants at the workshop have agreed that Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 is a legislation that has had positive impact on Nigeria's criminal justice system. In Abuja, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Well, you will all agree with me that Nigeria and the fight against corruption have become practically synonymous since the inception of the Buhari-led administration. Little wonder African leaders made him their anti-corruption champion and asked him to lead them in the fight. But how is the fight going back home in Nigeria? Discussants on Tuesday Live feel more would be achieved if Nigerians, especially at the grassroots, take the fight as the national duty rather than a government affair. Kehinde Olaleye gives us the aggregate of their opinions.
At the advent of this administration, President Muhammadu Buhari clearly told Nigerians that a fight against corruption would top his agenda for the country. 3 years down the line, the government has recorded milestone achievement in the fight against corruption. Notable are recovery of looted funds, blockage of leakages, misappropriation and embezzlement through the Treasury's single account. Discussant on Tuesday Live emphasized that states and local governments need to do more, just as value system at community and family unit must be imbibed. They also evaluated the Treasury's single account and the whistleblowing policy, which has yielded result.
We will be deluding ourselves to think that a disease that has eaten deep into the marrow of a nation can only be healed by the government. It must be a people's determination, a people's movement against corruption.
Nigeria is in big trouble. So we've got to collectively and recognize that this is in our collective self-interest.
The National Assembly has never stopped whistleblowing in the country. We encourage it. The laws, we're already pursuing all the relevant laws that are before us to get them through.
On the concern by many Nigerians on the role played by the judiciary in the fight against corruption, the Chief Judge of Delta State says the era of bribing judges is long gone, as the judiciary, under the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onoge, is changing the narrative and working towards quick dispensation of justice.
We shall do everything to support it according to the rule of law.
Corruption has been described as a threat to growth and development of any society. To subdue this threat, Nigerians have been urged to key into the anti-corruption campaign and also contribute their quota to rid the nation of this cankerworm of social evil. In Abuja, Kehinde Olaleye, NTA News.
Now, let me take you down memory lane. There was a time when every graduate aspired to become a civil servant due to dignity of service. Along the line, it appeared the service lost its place. To reposition the service, a strategic implementation plan was introduced. The idea is to place it on the path of greatness. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday was at the sensitization workshop for senior officers of ministries and extra-ministerial departments in Abuja, where that was done.
Permanent secretaries here present.
It was a convergence of permanent secretaries and officers on grade levels 15 to 17. The mission is to sensitize officers on the contents, goals, and how to implement the plans in all ministries, departments, and agencies. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, who is championing the cause, said the strategies are in line with the present administration's efforts at repositioning the service.
We have identified high-impact prioritization of initiatives. We have a specificity with actionable and detailed implementation plan and budgets. clear governance structure to drive the reforms, and we have developed a change management plan for handling change at all levels. This is not just her strategy document, but it is actually the workbook that all permanent secretaries would use to effect the desired change.
Participants also had practical interaction with heads of the 8 strategic goals.
We are owning it, and every effort is being made to ensure that it succeeds.
The workshop is tagged Nigeria Epic Civil Service. The unique selling point of the strategic plan is that it was designed and will be implemented by civil servants. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has advocated a comprehensive social housing roadmap to tackle the huge housing deficit in the country and entrench policy sustainability in the sector. He stated this when he received board members of the Federal Housing Authority in his office, led by the chairman of the board, Senator Lawal Shoaibu. The SGF reiterated the determination of the present administration to ensure that 1 million houses are built across the country every year, and assured that the federal government will do the needful to accomplish the task. Chairman of the board, Senator Lawal Shoaibu, hinted that in the 45-year history of the authority, government had made huge investment of over ₦1 trillion in housing projects. When we return, Vice President inspects power station in Nasarawa State, and our area market goes bright with new transformers. We'll be right back.
Sedap Supreme Noodles, capturing the tasty goodness. It's the Sedap Supreme chicken essence that gives it the truly delicious chicken taste. With real chicken essence. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
All TVs say picture quality, but never mention the most important color, black. It uncovers the hidden details of nature, brings out the richness in all colors, and reveals life. With self-lighting pixels, only OLED TVs make perfect black, and perfect black creates perfect color. LG OLED TV.
From our wonderful family, meet our active triplets. Mixology, for example, mixes well with drinks. Then enjoy every quick meal with Slurp It Off. And everywhere you go, there is Go-Gurt. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good. Hollandia.
Hey, Anu. Look, I got something for you.
A football chassis?
Hey, Adu, come watch a game with your uncle and I.
Please, come. I'm okay, thanks. The kind of person that you asked me to be. My brother say you love me, I love him too. I tell him I will do anything for you. But it's strange.
Did you see how many goals I scored?
You get shoot.
You scored 2.
I look up like this, say, who are you?
So, Daddy, we showed those blues pay yesterday, right?
We sure did.
Those 3 points are sure for us today.
Remind me how.
Game's about to start. Quick, please.
Me
makes a Naija mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's 1 capful to fight germs.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's 1 capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes.
I trust the power of Dettol's 1 capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's 1 capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be a powerful Naija mom with Dettol.
You're welcome back. This is NTA News Extra, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. On the sidelines of his engagements in Nasarawa State, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo inspected the high-capacity electricity substation in Lafia under construction. He assured the people of the government's commitment to critical infrastructural development.
The National Integrated Power Project is to step down the 330 kV line, thereby boosting power supply in Nasarawa State. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who was conducted around the project site by the Managing Director of NIPP, Chiedu Ugbo, commended the contractors for the job done so far and urged them to deliver the project on time. The project is expected to be completed and inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari by the end of the year.
Nice for the 132 and we step down to 33. So the 330 that yes, it's across. Yeah, that work is commencing. The foundation will commence very soon. They finished the 132 in 2 weeks. Yeah, the 132 is finished. They are working on 33.
Governor Umaru Tenkal Makura said the project will boost small and medium-scale enterprises in the state.
The 33 kV line is the most robust power infrastructure you can find in the country. This one is coming all the way from Enugu through Makurdi to Lafia to Jos. All our power needs will be handled by this 330 kV line. I must say we have received more than enough support of the federal government because virtually the federal government has taken all the cost of the project.
In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Insufficient electricity in Nigeria has been telling on the social and economic development of the country for a long time. But things are changing gradually, and the hope of getting out of the previous predicament of uncertainties of light is much anticipated. Our area market in Abia State, for instance, has been on a solo mission, though with a profound commerce and trade. But now, the market is becoming organized through federal government's intervention, which now provides for the market prospect for steady electricity. Usman Aliyu tells us what's going on in this next report.
This is Area Market in Aba, commercial city of Abia State, a place close to the heart of buyers and sellers. People say one easily gets whatever he or she intends to buy at Area Market, but then at a price.
Area Market in Aba, Abia State has been a character of an unpleasant smoke of hydrocarbon and the noise of generators serving the market community. This is changing for the better as the federal government is providing solution of improved electricity supply in the market.
The market is open 8 hours a day currently with power. We want to extend that to 10 hours a day so that the people in the market can focus on their core business, which is to generate commerce and provide a livelihood for their families.
It's a new initiative that guarantees quality electricity supply in the market. At first, 37,000 shops are targeted here, and it's a private partnership.
Investors have taken a position, so there is not a kobo of government money in this undertaking, and you will see the design here to install 150, 100 kVA transformers, and it will provide an example for the discos too of the kind of installations that meet the national standard.
And the Minister of Power conducts critical assessment and openly interacts with the traders.
In fact, it is a good thing. What they are doing is very fine because we have been using generator.
You have seen in some of the shops that are benefiting from the pilot program that they say that from 3 days without energy, they are now experiencing 10 minutes without energy in a 9-hour trading cycle. That is what restructuring means. That is what change means.
Indeed, a good prospect is here, and it is expected that the same initiative will be reflected across Nigeria for the development of power sector. Usman Aliu, NTA News.
Seahorse Lubricant Industries Limited is targeting the over 12 million vehicles in Nigeria with the establishment of its ultra-modern manufacturing complex. Gabriel Odu beamed his camera lenses on Seahorse Lubricant Industries, located at kilometer 24 Onitsha-Owerri Expressway in Anambra State.
Osobulu in Anambra State is home to Seahorse Lubricant Industries Limited, a global brand with state-of-the-art facilities. Seahorse manufactures lubricants for all vehicles, ranging from heavy-duty to Porsche cars as well as commercial vehicles. Giving impetus to the genuineness of Seahorse Lubricant Industries products, officials of the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, were on hand to conduct laboratory tests and check the books.
These products that are manufactured in Nigeria are actually genuine.
After an extensive tour of the Seahorse complex, the Standard Organization of Nigeria presented certificates to the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Seahorse Lubricant Industries Limited, Chief Ebuka Onunkwo.
I've been importing this product for years, and at a point I said, why wouldn't I hit to the federal government's demand for us to come and add in the industrialization of Nigeria, thereby creating jobs. So I decided to come down here and build this factory and create jobs so that people will reduce the number of jobless people in the street. It's one of the best.
The essence of our coming here is to confirm to Nigerians that Seahorse product is actually manufactured in Nigeria and specifically in Anambra State, and to also further prove that these products have genuine markup certification.
Today in the market, in our workshops, we've seen Seahorse oil as one of the best, if not the best.
Seahorse Lubricant Industries hopes to expand and capture the West African sub-region market and the continent as a whole. Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
Now, cassava is one tuber that has the capacity to grow any economy in Nigeria. I remember some few years ago when there was a deliberate effort by government to increase cassava production, giving its tremendous economic value chain. That potential is still there. That is why a meeting of the Cassava Production Association of Nigeria is ongoing in Katsina State. It is, however, worrisome to hear that financing, processing and marketing are major challenges, as pointed out by the Katsina State Commissioner of Commerce, Industry and Tourism, Abubakar Yusuf. Bashir Baba tells us more about this and what hope for cassava production in Nigeria.
The Commissioner says the essence of the meeting is to brainstorm with the state government, private sector, traditional rulers and other stakeholders on how to boost cassava production in the state. He observed that Katsina has comparative advantage over other states, considering the fact that it has vast arable land that is suitable for cassava production. He further noted that boosting cassava production will have positive impact on the economy of the state and the country at large.
We have realized that both direct and indirect employment within the local state, not less than 300,000 jobs will be created.
In his remarks, the national president of the Cassava Production Association of Nigeria, Fasta Shegun Adewumi, says the Central Bank of Nigeria, through the Anchor Borrowers Program, has set aside a huge amount of money to support cassava production across the country. He revealed that the association has made all the necessary preparations to set up industrial plants in each of the 3 senatorial zones of Katsina State, as part of efforts toward addressing the challenges facing cassava production in the country. In Katsina, Bishir Bala, NTA News.
Vaccination is an integral part of healthcare delivery developed for prevention of diseases. The production of such an important health commodity in developing nations such as Nigeria has, however, remained a Herculean task due to the complex nature of the production process. Leveraging on the South-South cooperation, these nations are making collaborative moves to surmount the challenge by interchanging expertise and experiences on modern vaccine production technologies. Chimdima Ndubisi tells us more.
The World Health Organization, WHO, defines vaccine as a biological preparation which improves immunity to a particular disease. Reports show that vaccination has helped prevent millions of bouts of illnesses and disabilities, averting millions of child deaths annually. Currently, our newly developed Ebola vaccine, although on investigative phase, has been proven by researchers to be highly protective against Ebola virus, with major trials carried out in Guinea and recently the Democratic Republic of Congo, heralding hope for prevention against the deadly virus that has killed thousands.
Vaccines are not only for preventing diseases, it also helps economy.
Despite this, most people, especially those in developing countries, still suffer from preventable diseases. According to the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, about 3,000 pregnant women and quite a number of children under 5 lose their lives daily from vaccine-preventable diseases in Nigeria. Fingers point at unavailability of vaccines in some health facilities, especially in rural areas, and aversion to vaccination due to religious beliefs or skepticism as reasons for this. At present, Nigeria does not have the capacity to produce vaccines, relying on international donor agencies and importation.
Outside VOM, we don't have any vaccine production laboratory in Nigeria, and VOM concentrates mainly on livestock vaccines, and they have been doing tremendously well. However, even their capacity is not up to satisfying the national demand.
Now that there is donor fatigue in funding vaccination, experts from developing nations are looking inwards to develop their own vaccines.
These professionals from 16 countries are here to share knowledge and ideas on modern technologies in vaccine production.
Old methods were based on using whole organisms, where we use live attenuated organisms, and this have some disadvantages because in some cases you can have reversion. We are getting discouraged from such system. We are using things like subunit vaccinations, using proteins, not using organisms, using DNA, using genes. So these are, recent trends in vaccine production.
The interaction will avail countries without capacity on vaccine production to gain knowledge from countries like India and Vietnam, who have succeeded in developing vaccines. However, things are starting to look up for Nigeria on vaccine production, as institutions like the Center for Biotechnology Research and Training, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, having won World Bank grant of over $4 million, has commenced the process of developing vaccines for 3 out of the 17 neglected tropical diseases, including malaria. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
What does it take to make the world safe for the child? I know you would want to know that. Well, join me for the details after these messages.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts and lasts and lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1, sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three put
You are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was.
You take that one. You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It will boost our economy and will give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just may have us.
Even now, sir, if they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy, may they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
It's good to know you're still out there watching. In 2003, Nigeria adopted the Child's Rights Act to domesticate the Convention on the Rights of the Child. How far has this act been implemented? How much of their rights have been infringed upon? Who is guilty? The government, the parents, or the society? Children from the 36 states and the FCT are frowning at these infringements. Let me ask you, are you guilty? Basi Itaipan takes up the story from here.
Definitely, I would say it's the parents.
People that are most guilty are our community.
The parents are the most guilty, because if the parents have love for their children and they show love for their children, it's not going to affect the community.
In Nigeria, the law does not only protect the child, but also stipulates punishments for adults who take advantage of the children or seek to negatively influence them.
You commanding them around, making decisions for them is abuse. You are not letting them make decisions on themselves. So it's high time you start rubbing minds with them. Start talking with them and learn how to stop talking to them. That is what we need for our parents.
There are several things today that are preventing us, the children. While we were coming here, I came by transport. I saw children under the rain. They were coming back from school. It's not even school over, and yet they left these children walking on the highway. Why?
That is a capable man who will guide the children to know what he's doing. Christian and Muslim who cooperate themselves. They are children of Christian, they are children of Muslim.
When children speak like this, they are expressing their realities and what they are feeling daily. So they are saying, please help us to regain our sense of security. And whether it's at home or in the school, we want to be safe.
What then should be done to ensure their rights are protected?
I think it's the collective responsibility of the parents, the teachers, the community at large, and the government to create a safe space for the Nigerian child.
The Nigerian Children's Parliament was inaugurated to give children the opportunity to express their views on issues that concern their welfare and well-being.
The children stress the need for Nigerian children to be bold and speak up, not minding intimidation. Children from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT converge on Abuja. Top on their discussion is how to make the world a safe place for the Nigerian child. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
In the meantime, about 200 youths and women in Ekiti State have been trained and empowered with starter kits to start their private businesses under a program tagged Empowerment for Success. It was organized by the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, in conjunction with the National Directorate for Employment, NDE, to contribute to societal growth. Tayo also has that report.
Beneficiaries who were trained in various skills like beading, tie and dye, makeup and gele tying, as well as shoes and bags production, were given certificates and starter packs, which include sewing machines, grinder, makeup kits, generators, and several others to eke out a living and also become employers of labor. The President, Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DIPOA, Mrs. Omobolanle Olonishakin, explained that the initiative is part of activities of the association to improve the standard of living of the people.
This will also help in ensuring that they are engaged, so as to be able to help in alleviating poverty and reduce unemployment.
The representative of the Chief of Defense Staff applauded DIPOA for putting smiles on the faces of indigent members of the public.
You have started your journey to economic freedom, prosperity.
Beneficiaries appreciated the gesture.
Because they have really impacted something into our lives.
I plan to do things to make money for myself and my immediate family.
Widows and elderlies were also given food items. From Odekiti, Tayo Shaw, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded Nigeria's emerging role in the World Craft Council, WCC, saying talents, skills and high-quality artistic creations of Nigerians are attracting more global attention and appreciation. A statement by the Special Advisor, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Buhari received with delight the opportunity of the Director General of the National Council of Arts and Culture, NCAC, Otumba Olusegun Ronsewe, as President of World Craft Council, Africa Region, saying it is an indication that Nigeria's arts and craft have come into international limelight. The statement also adds that the President urged NCAC to further look inward for the exploration and showcasing of the rich African resources in crafts that could attract the world more and open new opportunities for untapped talents. We're told, and rightly too, that music is a universal language and songs, being a component of music, have profound cultural and entertainment value. With Nigeria's diverse and colorful cultural heritage, the potential for promoting national unity, peace, peaceful coexistence, as well as entertainment and making some money is no doubt. Now, these are more what the Songs of Nigerian Festival is all about. Gufan Shaji is here to give us a piece of the nation of the festival.
This conference room is an organization under the auspices of Songs of Nigerian Festival, seeking primarily to preserve the uniqueness of Nigerian music by promoting local content of contemporary Nigerian songs in the world that has since become a global village. But before we go into the conference room to find out what the stakeholders are really portraying, let's go through a little bit of what Nigerian content is all about when we're talking about Nigerian music. Nigeria as a country is known for its music and rich cultural diversity. For the organizers of Songs of Nigeria Festival, they believe music is a tool for national healing by optimizing the abundant benefits of the nation's diversity.
Sonifest is trying to get Nigerians to trade at this point is that part of promotion of national unity. We cannot continue enforcing national unity. The people must be prevailed upon to see the wisdom in appreciating the diversity of the nation as our most important asset.
It is also their resolve to project the strong native flavor of the indigenous songs, as this will enable Nigeria's thriving music industry to remain globally competitive. With the theme harnessing the beauty of our diversity, Songs of Nigerian Festival will hold on the 24th of May here in the capital city. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
Thank you, Gufan. Now, on the last lap of News Extra tonight, we have some foreign news, update on World Cup, and Thursday's weather forecast. All these after the messages. Stay with us.
I started with nothing but a vision. My father taught me that men who reach for the sky cannot be afraid to fall. I followed in his footsteps till the day those footsteps ran out. Then the world offered me other teachers. Each success became the seed of another, even greater success. And from these small beginnings, a great tree was born. Look at my rise. Learn from my lessons. You can follow in my footsteps without following my path. Go, be the hero.
Welcome back. And Uche Nwizu is standing by with stories making the rounds on the global scene.
A warm welcome. The former Georgian lawmaker and author Stacey Abrams has taken a major step towards becoming the first ever African-American female governor of a U.S. state. 44-year-old Stacey Abrams won the Democratic Party primary on Tuesday, telling voters that trying to convert Republicans into Democrats had previously failed. She will face a Republican candidate in the contest for the Red State's governor's mansion, which no Democrat has held since 2003. Senior officials of the banned Ethiopian opposition party, the Oremo Democratic Front, who have been in exile, arrived at Addis Ababa for peace talks with the current government. The newly elected Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, has called for reconciliation in order to unite the country. And as a result of cross-border collaboration to stamp out child sex offences by Western tourists, a British court has found a 72-year-old pensioner guilty of raping 2 Kenyan girls. The British National Crime Agency said the accused was convicted on 9 child abuse offences in Leeds Crown Court after a trial in which Kenyan witnesses testified via video link. That concludes this package. I am Uche Nwizu. The news continues shortly.
And a bit on sports now, with 22 days to the kickoff of the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. We bring to you the concluding part of the report on match venues for the showpiece. Ayodeji Makinde is our guide.
We continue our countdown to the 28